Well, bam. What is going on? I am ridiculously sick. I've got bronchitis. I'm in the middle of it, so we'll see how this goes. Took in a watch this week and starting a new little series, I guess. Used and bruised watches. If I can get a deal on a watch and I can fix it, whatever's wrong with it is within my wheelhouse, I'm apt to do it. This is the Omega Seamaster 41mm professional quartz, reference 222180. It is the next generation quartz from the original Pierce Brosnan era quartz Seamaster, and it has a couple issues. This bracelet diver extension does not stay shut all that well. Thankfully, it's not an issue when the clasp is closed. Also, there's a new bezel insert on here because it arrived without its loom pip, and we're going to get into that in a hot minute. Aish. Gonna miss the green. Let me see if I can power slide this. Oh, power slide part 1. Oh, I missed it, son of a gun. So why this watch? Why this reference? I have a number of Seamasters. I'll end up doing a collection Seamaster review thing at some point. Get them all in one room. Part of me is I love Omega, and I love the Seamaster and the Speedmaster. Probably equally, but the Seamaster I think a bit more, if I'm being honest. This is the red line edition. The regular Brosnan one, it just has all white print. That's how you can distinguish them pretty quickly. The collector in me wanted one of the Brosnan ones, and this one is better. The movement is an improvement. I like the red line on it, and the red line of this matches my GMT, which my Seamaster GMT is my one watch collection. If all watches had to go and I only had to keep one, that would be the one I would keep. So this makes a nice little bookend to that one, I think, somewhat. And I wanted to check it out, and I do have to admit the price, I got priced in. Had a little bit of some problems replacing the loom pip though. If you've ever seen my very first video, I document how to change a bezel and an insert, and I believe in that method. It didn't work last night. I got the bezel off easy enough, got the insert off easy enough, got the loom pip out of my donor bezel insert installed easy enough. Went to put the aluminum bezel back into the bezel, the aluminum insert into the bezel itself, and it did not want to go in. And I inadvertently overpressed on the bezel insert, and I basically made an aluminum pancake out of it. Amateur hour. I know better than to, I was up late. It was like 3 a.m. because whenever I get this bronchitis stuff, allergic bronchitis, whatever, can't sleep, so I felt like working. Aluminum pancakes are not as good as Frank and Shirley's pancakes were. That's a fact. So, went on eBay, and there's some inserts out there that are affordable, $8,500. But if that insert is wobbly, like this one was, as I come to find out, and doesn't fit right or doesn't go in quick with that quick click, I'll have 2 pancakes. So I'm gonna hit up my watchmaker, see about getting a Omega bezel for it. Bezel replacements out of Omega are $275 plus shipping, which is a lot. But if you see what those used Genki bezels are going for on eBay at this point, $350, $400, no. And Omega will not sell you that bezel part direct. You have to go through someone. You got to have a guy. I have a guy. And we'll see if I can get that part for self-install, since I have a history with him. Maybe, maybe not. But even if I have to ship him the watch for him to put on the bezel, he's not going to charge me a service. It's Quartz watch, number one. Number two, I'll send it in with one of my other watches that needs a fix. And hopefully he will sort me out. Used and bruised watches. These are not for the faint of heart. And even someone with a pedestrian understanding of watchmaking, such as mine, and I don't do anything inside the watch. I don't have any movement experience. But bezel fixes, bezel swaps, I feel even crown swaps, as long as the stem is already attached, I feel comfortable doing that kind of stuff on watches that I know. Porsche design, I can do a couple things on that. Omega Seamasters, I can do a couple things on that. I just had a botched job last night. That's all there is to it. I try to live my life by certain axioms. If you screw up, own up, and clean up. And that's what I'm doing today. So I want to add a little caveat to my Omega bezel fix video. Whenever you press that case press down, you want it to be a quick motion, a quick one hand, not a lot of pressure motion, and you want to try and get that bezel insert seated as well as possible, maybe even push it in by hand. I was really surprised I pancaked this one last night. Surprised, if not disappointed. Yeah, what are you gonna do? These Seamaster Quartz models are going up in price, just like everything else, it seems. Time-wise, you can get the original Brosnan for $1,100 used. Not no mo. These ones are hovering around $2,500-ish. I'm in at 17. Even with the bezel malfeasance on my part, I'm in at 2. And yeah, the bracelet is a little bit concerning, but uh-oh. Fire service coming through. Go get them, boys. I used to live near a firehouse, and the sirens would go off sometimes in the middle of the night. Strangely enough, I was never off put by it, even though I am a light sleeper. Go get them, boys. This diver extension slips out way too easy, and there's no way to fix that. It's just tired. As I said, though, I'm not worried about that. First of all, because I'm not planning on selling it. It's going to be in the collection. Plus, I wouldn't buy a watch with that, and that was not declared on the listing. But I got this seller down $300 or $400, maybe even more. Maybe it was $500 off just for the loom pip issue, which should have been an easy fix by all accounts. I think I just had an amateur hour. Amateur hour moment. I am not a watchmaker, but I like to noodle. I like to play around with it, and it's my watch, my fun, so as long as I'm willing to accept the consequences of my idiocy or carelessness. Maybe I had that insert in too far, such that when the press was coming down, it was pressing harder on one area and not the area that was out. I need to do some, maybe on a big C, look at the physics of this lever system. It looks like it's coming down uniformly. I only have half of an engineering degree. Big C finished his. That's why he's my engineering contact. I know enough to get me in trouble from time to time. If you like this Bond Quartz model, the 41mm Brosnan era, or this one, the next era, pick it up. They're not making any more, and the prices are only going up. There should be some way for the JDM to do a sponsorship of this video. In fact, I'm going to write one of my seller I got this from, see if they'll sponsor a video, because I don't know how many watches I bought from them just buying them, let alone promoting them on the channel. That would be funny. Getting an eBay seller as a sponsor. I'm going to try. Why not? I'm a goon. Always was a bit of a kook. as Franklin would say. Maybe I'll do an update if I get a new bezel out of my watchmaker. This bezel insert is the one from the GMT that I did that whole first video on. So, you know, at least it's original. It's faded. I don't like faded bezel inserts, especially on this model, because this model, it's in such great shape, case, dial, otherwise. I want it to look fresh and clean. You know what I mean? I did have some coffee, so I'm a little revved up, even though I'm somewhat down for the count with these health issues. Gosh, allergies, not cool. Not cool at all. Ooh, time to pass. Someone's slowing the... I'm gonna use this opportunity to drop in a book review, because I have the sense no one wants to watch book review videos by their own. I do not often review watches, books, other things that I don't like. However, I have to review this book as a public service announcement to the watch community. In as much as this is the worst watch book that I own, and it wasn't cheap. I should add the caveat. This is a perfectly fine coffee table book if you just want to thumb through and look at the occasional cool photo. That's not why I necessarily buy watch books. I buy watch books for rare references, pictures, reference ID numbers, details, that kind of thing. And this is not a small book, nor was it cheap. But it just doesn't have enough of the good stuff or the right stuff. And I'm showing it to you today so you can at least know what you're getting if you choose to buy it, because you are not going to see this on the shelf at a Barnes & Noble, if you can even find a Barnes & Noble. So let's crack it open and see what I'm talking about here. It's well produced, and there are a couple neat photos, but the wasted space, no, I'm sorry. There's some nice photography of watches up against white stuff, but there's nothing in here that you legit can't find online. And this is not why I buy watch books. Gosh, any book called From Seamaster to Seamaster needs to be doing more than this. So, something of a downer in terms of watch book reviews, but at least you'll know what you're getting into. Oh, there we go. If you choose to get it. Sorry. Yeah. Not. Oh. There's my baby. There's my 321. What up? So, all in all, a very big book. I think this book was like 80 bucks. That's a lot for a book that is not going to be a long-term reference for me, or perhaps for you. But some interesting photos if you like it. And there you have it. A little bit of used and bruised watches. A little bit of a book review. Having some good old-fashioned horological fun on a Saturday. Hope this day finds you well, and that you enjoyed this little trip through this hobby of ours. Alright, have yourself a great day. Peace!